What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Uh, just wanted to let you know, please subscribe to this channel. Uh, Also, make sure you like this video and also make sure you leave a comment. Commenting on this video will help the algorithms so that we can get in front of more people. And we're just trying to spread positivity. We're trying to spread truth and trying to spread reality. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. All right. And today's subject is going to be perception over reality. Scratch that. That's what I wanted it to be at first. It's going to be perception's alignment to reality. Now, it's okay to dream. It's okay to work towards your dreams. I'm not trying to discourage you from doing that. When I'm speaking about perception's alignment to reality, all right, what I'm talking about is accepting the things that you can't change and doing your best to work with them. Okay. We have, I won't say this is a female issue. This is a issue with man in general that lead with their emotions. Now we know that women are emotionally driven and men are designed to be logical. But today's age, that's not always the case for men and women. Some women out there are doing things more logical and practical than men, and some men are out there doing things more emotional than women. When you think about all of these senseless killings, uh, robberies, stick ups, scams, so on and so forth, these are all emotionally driven. It starts out in a good place, usually, somebody wanting to have something for themselves, but they cross the line of trying to trample over people to get what they want. And that's just a lack of not having any creativity to be able to produce or conjure up what you're looking for and what you're looking to get out of the deal. Excuse me. The perception, the perception is really how tuned your emotions are. And as you know, when you drive a car, eventually you're going to need to get a tune up. That's just the way that it is. You're going to have to get a tune up and you're going to have to get an alignment. If you don't, your car is going to not be able to drive straight. It's not going to be able to function. And if you don't have an alignment to the reality of your life, then you don't have a chance at getting any of your dreams. You don't have a chance of changing the trajectory of the way things are going for you because your trajectory is kind of offset. It's offset into something or somewhere it doesn't need to be. So any type of alignment you try to do based on your perception being your reality, those this is my truth type people, you're always going to be off, you're always going to be off alignment. And in most cases, when you try to align, being in a place or a setting that you're not supposed to be, it's going to make you more off balance. It's going to make your alignment worse than it was before you tried to fix it. So what do I mean? Well, your perception has to be that it is what it is. Now I know we hear that saying, but it's true. Your perception has to be this is the situation, this is the circumstances. These are the breaks. These are the things that I'm dealing with right now. This is the setting, this is how much money I make. This is where I live. This is what I have. This is who I'm affiliated with. This is why things are coming at me the way they're coming at me. And and this is how I ended up here. So it's the who, what, when, where, why, and how of your situation. And it has nothing to do with your truth. See, there is no your truth. There is your truth. Me saying my truth is like saying it's a candy coated lie. Okay. Because if I choose a lie to be true, that doesn't make it true. But if I can convince you to accept my lie, then I'm just making my lie more acceptable and it feels a semblance of the truth because I have some people that agree with me. No, there's only one truth. There's only one truth. It is the truth. And your life has to be about aligning with the truth. If you can't align with the truth, it's over with. We know that you might want things to go a certain way. You might want people to treat you a certain kind of way, do things for you a certain kind of way, or whatever the case may be. All right. Before you can even tap into that, there's so much work to do. But even when you do tap into that, you become out of touch with reality. And you can never become out of touch with reality because you forget the ones that are subject to you in a sense that you want you want to be able to understand what people are going through and how to talk to them, how to deal with them, and how to elevate them to their next level. Soon as you become out of touch with reality, soon as you out, and what is reality? Reality is it is what it is. Mother Nature. It is what Mother Nature says. It is the rules and the regulations of nature. It is the laws of the universe. It is. It is what it is. It was always what it was. It had never changed. It didn't have a beginning and it doesn't have an end. It is the way that it is supposed to be. And you were created to fit a certain role in nature. Let me give you an example and let me give you a few examples. Let's say you're in a relationship with someone. You always find yourself arguing with somebody. You can't get it right. They're always going at you about what you're trying to do, and you're always going at them about what they're trying to do. And it's just a never ending argument between the two of you. Let me tell you why. The reality is someone's reality is not the same as the other's reality. Now, in some cases, both of them can be wrong, but you use what's real and what's actual factual to gauge how off of an alignment one is. And sometimes it's both of you making adjustments to accept the reality for what it is. But two people that accept reality for what it is and play the hand that they dealt, they don't ever have to get off track. They don't ever have to fight. So you think that relationships are when you have to argue all the time or it's part of the course. No, you can disagree because your sight lines are different. But really and truthfully, reality is your guide. It's your guide to get you to a place of harmony. Because really and truthfully, the duality of man and women is this: it's harmonious. When a when a woman is operating in her femininity and a man is operating in his masculinity, and they're both doing their jobs and both doing their parts, that's total harmony. That's total peace. He will get everything he needs out of her, and she will get everything she needs out of him. It's it's easier said than done, but it's just being true to who you are, true to form. When you are not in alignment with reality, you really you really shrink your odds of compatibility. And oftentimes when you are not in line with who you are and reality, even if you were to find someone that's compatible with your offset perception, You're not attracted to it. Let's look at the modern woman. The type of things that a modern woman is looking for. She's looking for a man that makes a lot of money, a man that is caring, loving, kind, genuine, loyal, faithful, committed, uh, sensitive, tough, good with the kids, there for the kids, there for her, help around the house, doing those types of things. The question then becomes, where is that man? Where is that man? Show him to me. Show me an example. So when we're talking about trying to find somebody that's compatible with us, we want to find somebody that provides us what we need and helps us in what we're trying to build as men. That's what we're trying to find. And women, you should be trying to look for somebody that is going the same place that you desire to go and you trust his vision to get there. Now, ladies, you can say all you want. Ladies, you always have a choice. But when you get married, you have only one choice. And that choice is to either follow or not follow. There's no in between. When you tell a man that you love him and you want to spend the rest of your life with him, and then you go through your due diligence and your ceremonies and things of that nature, however you get down, what you're simply saying to him is, okay, I trust you to take me and mine where we want to go. If that's not your mindset, you shouldn't be married. Now, if at some point you feel like your man has fell off and he does not or will not go into the direction that he said he was going in, and you decide that that is not where you want to go, the wrong thing to do is to stay with him and make life difficult for him. The best thing to do is to say, all right, can you pull over and let me out right here? Because I'm not going where you're going. Then that gives him an opportunity to determine if he is so off base that he needs to get back on track, or if the where he wants to go is where you want to go. I mean, if where he wants to go is more important than where you want to go. Being with each other is getting with each other when everything is clicking is one thing, but retention is a whole nother thing. Do you realize that even if you were to get married, people who get married once don't get married once. They get married again and again and again because they are not the same person after a certain period of time, and vice versa. You know, he loves you, he cares about you, he marries you, everything's beautiful. Then next thing you know, 10 years later, you guys are strangers to each other. The reason why is because he's changed, you've changed, and you guys didn't change together. Growing together is not subconscious. Growing together is conscious. You have to consciously make decisions and choices in order to grow with somebody. You have to be leaned in. And every time you're either feeding yourself or you're feeding us. And you think those little feedings of yourself don't add up, but you're going to like feeding yourself, and you're going to feed yourself even more and more and more. And then you're going to find out that you have grown into something that is uh, not cohesive with your partner. I mean, but this is reality. Reality is value system. Okay. What is your value system? What is his value system? Is your value system and his value system the same? The only way you're going to make it the same is you're going to have to communicate to each other. You're going to have to communicate to each other what's uncompromisable. You're going to have to communicate to each other what can be compromised. And you're going to have to communicate to each other what you can just let go of in general. And as a man or a woman, it's going to cause you to have to stretch yourself, and it's going to cause you to have to accept some things. And it's also going to have you to denounce some things. It might be some things that you were doing that you thought was pretty cool, but when you're with somebody and you're trying to grow with them, it might be something that you might have to just throw the whole thing away because it's just not conducive to you guys being together. Now, if I will say this, as a man, if you are flowing the way you're supposed to flow, the changes that you have to change, then your wife, I wouldn't say that you should cater to what your wife wants all the time. You have to go in the direction of your vision. But this is what you got to do. You got to be clear on what your vision is. You got to be clear on what the reality is. And you have to stay that course because that's the best chance you're going to have of somebody riding with you all the way through. They can accept some trials and tribulations under those circumstances. But if you stay true, that's something that's hard to come by. And that's something that they're willing to adapt and adjust to. So, yeah, it, in a relationship, it's more about a woman adjusting than it is a man adjusting because a man should already be adjusted to his purpose. And he's not supposed to deviate from his purpose. I know sometimes it's difficult. A man might not find his purpose until after he gets married. That's dangerous because your spouse is going to have to accept all of these different changes happening suddenly when you realize your purpose. But fellas, you got to stand firm in your purpose. You can't say, okay, but if I go after my purpose, then she's not going to want to be with me. You have to say, I want her to be with me, but I want my purpose to be fulfilled more than anything. And ladies, it's no offense, but you should accept a man that is dedicated to his purpose and that nothing comes before his purpose. You're supposed to be the helpmate to help him and aid him and assist him and accelerating him and amplifying him to get to where he's trying to get to. That's what you're supposed to be doing. That's exactly what you're supposed to be doing. That's why it's important for you. You control everything until you say I do. And it's not that a man controls you once he gets married. It's more or less you flow in terms of what he's doing. So be very careful who you submit your life to, because whoever you submit your life to, you're supposed to follow unwaveringly. It is no need to argue with somebody that has a terrible perception. If somebody is distorted in reality, it's no need to entertain that. Men and women shouldn't be arguing and fighting with each other. And you see that a lot. I've done that. But men and women shouldn't be arguing. Here's how it should go. A man says something, a woman says something. They don't agree. Then a bunch of cattiness starts, and the man is supposed to say, "All right, I'll talk to you later. All right, we just need to get ourselves together, and let's address this later." Because what's going to happen is when you're high in your emotions, things that are going to be done and said that should not be done and said are going to happen, and it's going to have inflicting damage on the relationship long term. Because here's the thing about wounds. If you've ever got a wound before, and I'm sure you have, if you've ever got a wound before and it healed up, you can still see the mark. You can still see the mark. I look at my hands and I can see some of the areas where I have marks on them. And these marks happened decades ago. Why? It's to remind me that of what I went through, but it's also to help me with where I'm going and some of the mistakes that I have made to not make them again. So I am supposed to look at my wounds and be reminded. I'm looking up in the sky and I'm saying the sky. I'm talking to somebody. I'm looking up in the sky and I want the sky to be purple, but the sky is actually blue. And this person looks up at the sky and wants the sky to be red, but the sky is blue. And I accept the fact, even though I want the sky to be purple, that it is blue, then I accept blue and I move forward because it's blue. Meanwhile, the other person that I'm dealing with, they want the sky to be red, even though the sky is blue, and they're going to sit there and argue with me that the sky is red. What am I going to accomplish with that? What am I going to accomplish arguing with somebody about something that's not factual? So this is when, ladies, this is when your feelings doesn't matter. Now, I don't want to sound insensitive. Listen to what I'm saying. Your feelings matter within the confines of reality, but your feelings don't matter when it is not based in reality. My job is to move you back and align you back to what reality is. And then we can learn how we can cope with what reality is so we can move forward and make things better. But if I'm sitting there arguing with you about something that's not true and you have your reality and your perception distorted, where you think your perception is your reality and your reality is your perception and some other kind of stuff, it's not going to be productive. It's going to be time wasting. So when you think about when you're arguing with anybody, when you're in an engagement or a heated fellowship with anyone, just ask yourself the question, what is the reality of it? And speak from reality, because it's not about her feelings and it ain't about your feelings. Nobody's feelings should be considered when it's not based in reality. Now, if it's something that you're trying to manifest to happen, let's talk about the realization of manifestation. You know, how okay, for an example, a person say, okay, let's give an example. A person is arguing about money. You know, the guy is sitting there saying, hey, listen, we don't have a lot of money to just be frivolously spending on this, that, and the third. So we need to curtail what we're spending. And she says, well, if you don't walk, talk, think, and act like you're rich, then how can you ever be rich? Okay. All right. That's fine. We understand that. But what are the steps that we are currently taking that's going to make the perception that you have a reality? And if there isn't clear communication on that, something can't, prayer without works is dead. You can't manifest something without you doing something in the earth realm. You're not going to have that multi-million dollar business if you don't go and get a business license. You haven't taken the first step towards what you're trying to manifest. See, manifesting is one thing, but there's works that come with manifestation. Even if it's on a meditational level, you have to meditate to manifest what it is that you're trying to manifest. So are you doing the work, or are you trying to live in the the possibility, because if you're living in the possibility and the work's not being done, you're going to kill yourself. You're going to destroy yourself, destroy everything that you're trying to do. We have all of these people out here who, and this is the thing about emotions, okay? I want you to think of emotions as a fog cloud. How much can you see in fog? Now, would you be more comfortable driving through your neighborhood in fog? Roads that you have driven on thousands and thousands of times? Or would you rather me take you to a new place and put you in the fog? The answer should be obvious. You want to be in familiarity if you have limited visibility. But a lot of times we move in areas we've never experienced or have little experience with and familiarity, and we have fog, our emotions in it, and we just find ourselves running off the road, hitting potholes, bumping into things, and crashing. Is that what we want? So perception. So we need to make sure we have clarity so that we're moving right. And the only way to have clarity is we got to take our emotions out of it, because emotions is a fog cloud. And even if we're moving in areas that we're familiar in, we still will find it dangerous for fog to be in our areas where we're familiar with, because objects move around, appear, disappear, show themselves, and so on and so forth. And so even if we know the roads, we don't always know what's in the roads. We don't always know what changes happen in the road. So the situation that's going on around us, it comes from within us. So if we want to change what is going on around us, we have to change what's going on inside of us. We need ultimate clarity. So we need to take our feelings and we need to put them on the shelf. Feelings are for when you're at home. You know, the place that you can relax and be yourself. When you're out here in this world, even if you're operating locally or regionally or nationally or internationally, you have to make sure that you have clarity. And the only way you're going to have clarity is you're going to have to take that emotional stuff, ladies and gentlemen, you got to put that stuff aside so that you can align with what's reality. Listen, if a road typically leads to my destination, and all of a sudden the working crew is on the road leading to my typical destination, if I see the crew and I see a sign that says road work ahead and it gives me a detour, would not be retarded if I just kept going through the sign. Of course. Now, when I'm in my feelings, I don't even get an opportunity to see the sign ahead until that sign is upon me. And what happens? Is it easier to get an advance notice so you can slow down? Or is it easier to slam on brakes? What if they're doing work on a road and the road is completely cut off on a cliff and there's a sign right there? But I have so much fog and emotions in my life that I'm doing 75 miles an hour just driving straight. And then all of a sudden I see that at the last minute. I may not be able to stop, and I may fly off the cliff and end my life. Do you see how emotions can really harm you, endanger you, or cost you your life? There are people in prison right now. Okay, there are people in prison right now over some of the silliest stuff. because they were in an emotional place when they made a decision. You get upset, you get mad at somebody for something that they did to you, and you pull out a gun and you shoot them, right? Where is the logic in that? See, now you have to face the reality because your emotions put you in a situation where now your freedom's at stake. So now you go into prison for however long you go into prison, all because you was an emotional person in that moment. Do you see how emotions need to stay in check? Do you see how emotions need to stay at home? Emotions have a place, and the place it has is its residency. You can't carry emotions out here into the world. And this is, look, this is why there are a lot of men that will say that women should stay home and not go out into the workforce. It's because of the emotion. Does that mean women can't go out in the workforce? No. But a woman needs to understand that she has to keep her emotions at home. And when she goes out into the world, she almost has to be cold and calculated. She has to be so adamant about getting the assignment done. There are so many different temptations and pitfalls out there that that are available for you to see. But if you are in your emotions and you are caught up in your own perception, you won't be able to see them in enough time to react. Now, listen, you have to know who you are, and you have to know how much control you have over that. So, ladies, if you are the type that you can control your emotions, well, then you can do more than most women. This is how you know where you belong, ladies. It's not for me or man to tell you where you belong. It's for you to understand where you belong. Okay? Because it's not right for me to tell you where you belong. I can't even. Let me tell you something about my wife. I'll say this about my wife. When me and my wife got together, there were only really three options. Okay? Three options. One, you can stay home. Two, you can work full time. Or three, you can do a combination of both. What other options are they? What other options are there? Nothing. You're going to have to be one, two, or three. Now, which one do you want to be? Whatever you choose is what I will flow and rock with. There's nothing in between. Men don't have the options, though. Men don't have the options. Men, the option is work. Doesn't matter how much you make, but your option is to work. You either work, start a business, be self-employed, or be an investor. But you have to have money coming in. And even if a woman is financially secure and she says, I don't need a man to work, what has history shown in terms of how long did that last? Eventually, she's going to not have it. Eventually, she's going to be like, okay, I'm tired of this. You need to get a job or you need to get out. Because she's going to get sick and tired of you watching TV around the house, doing whatever it is that you want to do, talking on the phone, playing video games, hanging out with your boys, going and playing whatever sport. Excuse me. She's going to get tired of all of that. You may get by, like mama say, you may get by, but you won't get away. No road is so long that it doesn't have an end. And fellas, any woman that's allowing you to sit back on your butt and do whatever you want to do, you better understand that you have an invisible clock. Because everybody has a boiling point where they're fed up. And listen, for ladies and gentlemen, you go out there and whatever it is you're trying to do, if you fail at it, it's okay. because at least you're trying. Just learn from what you did and try to do it better. So, ladies, you have to determine how emotional you have yourself, how much in check you have your emotions. You have to determine that. And then that helps you determine where you best fit. And where you best fit is who you fit with. Because some of us are with people that we don't fit with, but we're pretending to be something that we're not so that we have some semblance of fitting. That's no good. All you're doing is buying yourself time for the inevitable pain that's coming. That's the choice, ladies. Those are the three choices. Men have one choice, women have three choices. Now, to break it down, a woman that says, well, I want to go out there and work just like you go out there and work. Okay. All right. No kids, fantastic. We have children, provisions got to be made for the children. Okay, nobody's at the house to tear up the house or whatever the case may be. You may have to buy some people to do things that someone at the house would normally do. That's one option. If you explore that as being good for yourself, great. The second option is work 50-50. As a woman, work half time and then at home taking care of home half the time. Some semblance of the same thing. But I will say hanging out in the middle can be the most vexing. And number 3, stay at home. Ladies, I'm just going to be honest with you. If you have the luxury of being able to stay at home full time and your house is dirty and food's not made, why? Why? There is no excuse. Do you understand why traditionally women stayed home? It's because it worked. Now we're at this thing where we're trying to make something that traditionally didn't work. We're going to make it work now. Nature has never changed things. So going against nature, you know, Mother Nature and Father Time are undefeated. And you know this. Now, I'm not saying that it can't, I'm not saying that uh, if you're not a stay at home, if you're a part time or full time worker or whatever the case, I'm not saying that that doesn't work. But in a monogamous dynamic, every animal in the animal kingdom, and we're animals too, for thinking that you're not, you're wrong. We're mammals, okay? But to think that Mother Nature all of a sudden got things wrong, misunderstood. You have people who are saying, I know I was born as this sex, but I think I'm that sex. We're doing a lot of this now. And by us doing a lot of this now, how can you tell me that it's one not saying Mother Nature is wrong? When Mother Nature has always been undefeated along with Father Time. It's crazy to think about. Life could be oh so simple if everybody just fell in line and played their part. But human beings are the only ones that want to audition for parts they're not designed to audition for. And asking it shall be given. Anything that you want, it will be given. But do you really know what you're asking for when you ask for it? I don't want to ask for anything that I'm not ordained or designed to have. You do that. You do that, my friend. So this is all part of perception alignment to reality. Those who have those who have a seamless perception to reality are those that win. Now you just got to determine if you want to win or you want to lose in your life. There'll be lessons you learn, but it's all going to lead you back to doing things that you're supposed to do in reality. Look, and I know it sucks, but let me give you an example, ladies. Let me give you an example, okay? It's not me, but it's reality and it's nature telling you and I what our roles are. Let me give you an example of how you can accomplish what it is that you want to accomplish if you follow the role of nature and you you stay home. Let me just tell you what happens, okay? Let me tell you how you can still win. Okay? Let's use an example here. Let me get my calculator out. All right? Let's just say for an example, you have your husband goes out there and he makes $50,000 a year. You say, "Well, I can't live off $50,000 a year." But just stay with me. Your husband goes out there and makes $50,000 a year. All right? Now, let's just say okay, that's a little under $4,200 a month. Let's just say after taxes, let's just say that's let's just say it's $3,250. All right. Now let's just say rent, simple math. It's just simple math. Let's say rent is 1,300. Okay. Let's say utilities are 600. And let's just say your food is 500. Say you got a $300 car payment. And let's just say you have a $100 car insurance. Okay. All right. That leaves you about 450, I think, because I lost it on my tracker calculator. Okay. And let me make sure I double check here. All right. And now you got $450 left. And let's just say your phones are $100. Okay. So that leaves you with $350. You say, see, I can't live on that. Well, what you should be doing is making sure, number one, that you are living below your means. Don't do anything extravagant for the time being. And then take 350 and then take that 300. Let's just say you just set aside maybe like $100 for yourself and you just take 250 and you just put it into investments. Listen, there's a lot of things, and this is not an investment video. I repeat, this is not an investment video. Just naming some things that you can do. Okay. You can do IULs where you can have most of your money going towards your cash value and less of your money going towards the insurance to increase a tax-free retirement stream of income, all while hedging off taxes and market downturns. Okay. That's an option. Okay. You could get involved in cryptocurrency. Okay. You can mine for crypto. Uh, you can take those types of things and you can just let them grow. Remember, the reason that they call the rich conservative is for a reason. They make conservative choices to grow their money at the most predictable rates. See, The problem is when you're looking for these huge payoffs on how you can flip something real fast, like you can stick your chest out. The wealthy doesn't do that. The wealthy, they flip their money in predictable way. Low interest accruing, but predictable interest accruing accounts. And you have to do some more research on some other things that are out there too. But these are just some examples of what can be done. Okay. So let's just say $250 a year. That's going to be $3,000 in investments. Now, let's just say you earn 8% on that. All right. So then now you're sitting at, you made a $240 increase in your investment. You say, well, it's really more than that because it's compound interest, but I'm just trying to give you an example. Okay. So bear with me. Because a lot of investments are compound interest where you earn interest on it, you know, more than annually. You might earn it on it monthly, or you might earn it on it daily. But you just sat there, your husband is out there making $50,000 a year. You just made $240. Okay. All right. The next year, okay, you make 8%. You keep going up. You keep going up. You keep going up. You keep going up. All right. The compound interest is like a snowball effect. And I'm not going to do the math on that, but compound interest is a snowball effect. So now what happens is that little $240 turns into $2,400. Same level of giving, but now the $2,400 turn into $24,000, and $24,000 turns into $240,000. Now you got some capital, and now you can play some bigger games like real estate. Now you can start going out there and you can buy foreclosed homes. You can buy fixer uppers. You can take that, buy that property, catch it up to code, and then put it back on the market and sell it and make a profit off of that big time and put that back into your catalog, put in your portfolio. And after you do the first one, you don't have to finance your second and your second one and moving on. All you have to do is go find an investor and show them that you know what you're doing because you have something on your portfolio to show what you did with your own money. And then they'll give you the money and they'll say, okay, well, I want 10%, 12%. And so you get it. Let's just say you get $100,000 from them. They say they want 10% on that. So that means you got to pay them $110,000 back. But let's say you took that $110,000 and long story short, you got a flip and you were able to sell the property for $250,000. Okay. After you pay your $110,000 back, you're sitting at 140 using someone else's money. That's another thing wealthy people do. But see, you don't have your head in it like that. You thinking up front, what can you get? What can I get from this man? Or you're thinking up front, well, how can I continue to do me? Where marriage is a team. I'm always bring it back to marriage because it's an institution that's so powerful, but it's failing. So this is what we're saying here. We're saying that you need to understand that if you can get out of your emotional cloud, you can see things clearly. And then the work is ready for you to do. But are you ready to do it? Because listen, no matter what you hope for and wish for, if you don't put the work in with what you hope for and wish for, you think you're going to somehow get it? Mm-mm. It's seed time harvest. You know, it's laws of reciprocity. You put in, you get out. You feel like, ain't nothing working for me, man. God's not blessing me. Well, the rain is coming, but if it ain't nothing in the ground, ain't nothing gonna grow. But weeds. There's weeds in the ground that need a little love, need a little moisture. Guess what? If it get it, it grows. But you ain't even in your fields. You ain't even tearing out the weeds. and you ain't even planning nothing. You sitting there hoping that I can manifest something. Like you got the cheat code on how to do this. There's no cheat code. Meditation, I believe in it wholeheartedly. I think we all should do it. Okay. I believe we all should be manifesting. But manifesting, meditation is not going to only do it for you. You're going to have to put in some type of work towards what it is you're trying to do. If you need a license for something, nobody's going to give you a license. No licenses are going to manifest for you. You want a license, you want to manifest the license, then you go study and you take your test and you get your license. Like we got to get out of this. I am an exemption to the rule. I'm an exception to the rule. We got to get out of that mindset. The mindset needs to be, I am who I am, and the laws for him work the same as the laws for me. And I am going to get the best out of what I want to by putting in the work and doing the meditation, prayer, and fasting and manifestation. See that? So in essence, I hope you get what I'm saying about this perception alignment to reality. We have got to get out of our feelings. Our feelings are our downfalls. Our feelings are made for one place, home. You want to be in your feelings all the time? Go home. Do not step foot out of your door with your feelings, because the world don't give a darn about your feelings. Screw your feelings. The world doesn't care about your feelings. It's You never heard that we live in a warm world. We live in a cold world. You're gonna have to, if you cannot bring yourself, I'm telling you this right now, you got to look inside yourself. You cannot bring yourself to keep your feelings in the house. When you go outside, don't go. There's going to be some things said and done to you that's going to be inhumane. Do you want to expose yourself to that? This is why men should cover women. Men should cover women. That's our job. Now, women cover us spiritually. They really do. But in the physical realm, men have the advantage. But men don't have the advantage in other areas. It's not about being equal, ladies. It's just about the fact that we're supposed to be dependent upon one another. And there's supposed to be duality between us. We're supposed to come together and fill out each other's voids so that we can be the best that we can be. That's why we need each other. But we have to get in line with reality. And we have bad alignment right now. That's why divorce is running rampant. Single parenthood is running rampant. Our boys growing out there to be immature men, and our girls going out there and being mature men. It's like our women are becoming more masculine and our men are becoming more effeminate. And this is why, because we have an unhealthy balance. We have discretion with reality. Reality tells us things should be lined this way. And here comes man. Oh, we'll overcast that. And we'll do things our way. And I'm telling you, I know it's in human nature to triumph and conquer and whatever. But we can't conquer nature. And we can't conquer Father Time. That's just what we can't do. Why would you want to fight a war that you're not going to win? Why would you fight a battle that you're not going to win? You got to know when to hold them and when to fold them. And when it comes to nature, you just need to fold it. Fold it, accept your place in nature, Be the very best that you can be. You will achieve the most results that you can achieve. You do not want nature and Father Time to become your enemy, but you keep on defying it, and you will become public enemy number one, nature enemy number one, Father Time enemy number one, and they will cancel you out. So choice is yours. You're gonna be hard headed or you're gonna be soft headed. You're gonna have a heart of flesh, or you're gonna have a heart of stone. Take your pick. You've been warned. So my final thoughts is you better find out who you are. You better find out what you are supposed to be doing, what your talents and gifts are, and give to the world what you're supposed to be created to give to the world, because you are spiritual beings having a humanistic experience and not humans having an spiritual experience. See, the trick is you think that spirit is something that's part time. That's not you. Your entire life existence is your spirit. Without your spirit in your body ceases to function and exist and will turn into dirt. Do you understand? The reason that you haven't turned into dirt is because of the energy that channels through your body. It's the motor that keeps it going. Let a car sit there without being started or ran or drove, and it will rust to death. And that's what's going to happen with all of us when we leave our bodies. So let's not be led by our bodies. Our bodies have an expiration date. Our spirits don't. Energy is neither energy is not destroyed or created. It always exists and it always will. Your energy doesn't get old. Your energy doesn't obey time. See, time is something that man gave us. So that's why man obey time. Your spirit doesn't want to hear about time. Your spirit's got plenty of time. Know why? Because spirit sits outside of time. So obey your spirit. Don't obey your feelings, your flesh. Your spirit doesn't feel like the flesh feels. Your spirit wants to be in perfect alignment with the truth. That's why your spirit leads you into all truth. But you prohibit your spirit from doing that because you don't even follow your spirit. You follow your feelings. And it's uncomfortable when you're first starting to follow your when you first start following your spirit. But here's the thing about here's the thing about your body. You will whip it into shape. You will get your body in alignment with what it's supposed to be doing. And then instead of your flesh using your spirit will use your flesh. And then when your flesh ain't good enough no more, your spirit will leave it. So the spirit wants to get a lot accomplished. It knows it needs a healthy body. Are you listening to your spirit when your spirit tells you to eat the things you're supposed to eat, drink the things you're supposed to drink, do the things that you're supposed to do, or you rule by your feelings? I know what that feels like. I know the hard transitions. And I know the hard transitionings. None of us are exempt on it. But every last one of us have to find our purpose and our assignment, and we have to make sure that we align with nature and reality. All right, that's my time. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something today. Please, by all means, make sure that you like this video. All right. Make sure you comment, leave a comment in the video, please. Talk to me nice. And also make sure that you subscribe to this channel. I will be bringing consistent content to you. I will be talking about all of the things that mean something in this life. And make sure that you share this video with someone as well. If you would like to get in contact with me because you have questions or you wanted to book me, you can email me at thoughtofleandre@gmail.com. That's going to be down in the description. All right. Take care. Love you guys.